right away. So first of all, as you can see in our screen today, I mean, based on our data, apparently the keyword productivity tips are one of the keywords that are being searched probably the most. So we decide to kind of just take that on and use that as a case study to our webinar today. So before we get into like the actual writing of the AI, right? I want to set out very clear our mission when it comes to AI writing, right? I mean, we've been doing SEO for the last 5-6 years, and we've been doing a lot of agency work before we start building our tool, and therefore it comes with a lot of our personal experience when we build content and build SEO campaign. And again, I want to remind you something that I keep saying from webinar to webinar, is that SEO is a very long-term game. And like all long-term games, you can't expect instant result. Anything that promises you instant result when it comes to SEO usually will not last. So because Google is a very smart machine, they will. You may be able to trick them once, you may be able to trick them twice or 3 times, and you may get your keyword to rank, but it's not gonna last, and you're not gonna be able to kind of sustain that success over a longer period of time. So the idea of WriterZen is we try to kind of drive our user back to the basics. We try to remind them that you need to do all the basic fundamental things right. You need to start with looking for the right topics, showing Google and understanding your position when you're trying to do SEO, right? It's not simply just get your keyword rank, but it's also about providing quality results so that you can maintain that rank and eventually get users to trust you and trust your brand, trust the things that you are trying to provide, and therefore they will turn into a customer, a long-term customer. So essentially that's the goal. So you start with building that topic. The first layer is the topics that you choose. Main topic and then subtopics, and then you build that topic cluster in a very well logical orders, and take your time with this. You know, don't try to rush into like, oh, I have to cover this, I have to cover this. Every planning and every research need time, particularly in doing SEO, and that's what I call deep work, right? So the first thing is pick your topic, and then only when you're done with the topic, you go into finding the right keywords. Utilize some of our tool like golden filter and then cluster, and once you get the keyword out, you have the keyword list that you've chosen, you group them together into a list of potential articles, and then only then you will get into sort of the content creation phase. So content creation, the writing bit, is actually the last part of every SEO campaign, right? So I need to remind you guys that before we get into this webinar, and for us, content creation, it's all about quality and valuable insight that you can provide to your end users. And in order to do that, you have to use your own understanding and your own knowledge and your own experience to research, to plan, and then to write. AI could only work as an assistant, at least for now. They can replace you with the way and the quality of the work that you provide to your end users. AI writing could probably help you speed up your writing process so fast, and that's a great thing. But please treat it with cautions and make sure that you remain as cautious and as careful as possible when you start using them, and make sure that they are only playing the role of an assistant, not a replacement, right? They should only be an assistant, and that's exactly the way we build our GPT-3 Empower sort of AI assistant. They are there to assist you and to help you and advance you, but they're not there to replace you as the person to create content. At the end of the day, you have to hold your own responsibility with your own content. So let's start with keyword importer. Let's start with keyword explorer, right? And let's say my keyword is productivity tip, right? Location United States, right? In English. Search for it. So right now we have about 560 keywords. And let's say the next step, you will do some filtering like golden filter, but in these videos I won't go into that details. Essentially, the next step, let's say this list of keyword are the list of keyword that you chose to work on, to execute on. You generally, what I do is that I will select all, and then I will click on cluster. And the cool things about cluster now is that it's just become one features in Keyword Explorer. And so when you click on it, you'll be able to either cluster the selected keywords, or you cluster all the keyword, and well, in this case, all the keyword will be 560. So what I'll do is just click cluster selected keyword. And the next window you'll see is this is where you set out the clustering level. It's very important. This is a really huge improvement from the previous cluster function, because the previous cluster function are sort of automatically cluster, and it didn't give you any manual sort of like a setting, and we automatically cluster keyword with 3 similar search results together. But with this update, you are able to kind of do the setting here, and you just increase the cluster. And this time I will set out at 6 similar results. And the new project, I'll name it, let's say, productivity tip. And then you just simply, well, as you hover over here, we have a highlight say keyword will be imported and clustered as a new project on keyword import tool. So whatever you click activate here, this data will actually pop up in the new window, and it will appear on the window called keyword import. And I already did an activation on this earlier, and this would look like the result. So as you can see here, these are the data for productivity tips, and in keyword importer, you can access it here. Once you click activate, it will pop out a new window, and then it will be here. These are all 560 keywords, and these are the cluster group that you see. So from this cluster group, we cluster a total keyword of 560. Cluster level 6, you got a 69 cluster group, and you have 316 keywords that do not belong to any cluster, so we call not in any cluster keywords. So as you hover in here, these are the structure in which you want to start with your content writing, right? Each of these group of cluster are going to be one of your article that you write. You want to start from here. You don't want to just simply get a keyword and then start writing on it right away, because you want to know that with that keyword, how many other keyword with similar semantic meaning you can write an article on and rank for all of them. So for example, productivity ideas, you have a group of 6 keywords, and you click show ideas, it will kind of show you over here. You have productivity, ways to improve productivity, tips to increase productivity, tips to improve productivity. These are all of the keyword in which if you rank for one keyword, there's a very high chance for you to rank for the rest of the keyword. And that's the whole idea of cluster. So you only need to write one piece of article that include all these keywords, and then you show Google that you are targeting all this, because you know the content that you cover in all of these keyword are already kind of answering the demand from the users who are searching for this. Okay, right here there's a tips, right, I want to share. The first thing is the parent keyword that you want to choose. So the parent keyword are the keyword in which you show Google that you're targeting hardcore. For example, here we show you the productivity ideas, and that's the parent keyword. And this is based on the search volume of the keyword itself. So as you can see here, productivity tips for work is the parent keyword because the search volume is very high. So we place the keyword with the high search volume represent there as the parent keyword. And this work really well for websites that are more established. So for example, it's already well optimized in some sense. You already have a certain backlinks. You have a bunch of keywords that already ranked. You already established authority over in your space. You should be able to, and you know that you have a comparative edge over your competitors. You can certainly and confidently choose a keyword that is higher search volume, which is a bit more difficult, as the parent keyword. And parent keyword means that you will actually place the keyword in the title, because the keyword which you place in the title is the keyword in which you show, in the most obvious sense, to Google that I am targeting that keyword, right? But if you have a newer website, and let's say, for example, let's look for a keyword that's hard, like for example, productivity tips, and the search keyword is like 1,000, right? And you know that your website just started out and start writing about productivity. You shouldn't probably have this keyword as the main keyword. You can actually use this keyword as a child keyword, which are the keyword that should be in the content itself, so in your text, but the keyword that you include in the title will be probably best productivity tips, for example. So best productivity tips are only 30, but you know that if you target them and show Google, obviously there's a higher chance for you to rank this keyword. And as the keyword gets stronger and your content gets stronger, you can either either do a refresh content or write another article on this main keyword, and then you slowly will get all these keywords to rank together, right? So this is the key thing before you get into the actual writing of the content: choosing the right parent keyword and choosing the right child keyword, and it all depends on your own, how well you are and how well your websites are in the beginning. All right, so once you determine your target keyword and its cluster, and you determine the parenting keyword, let's go into an article. Let's write an article together, and let's say I want to write an article about productivity tips. I'm going to save this first. I'm going to save it into a list. Add. So the list already appear here. All right, so then I will go into my content creator. So over here, I already kind of set an article, and it's called productivity tips. As I click on it, welcome to the first step. So today I will actually start to design. I'm gonna make my face smaller a bit here. Ooh, very big. I'm gonna put here. Okay, so today I'm going to go from A to Z when it comes to building a content, right? So as you can see, I already saved the cluster keyword in which I want to target in my keyword list. I will use that later when in step 2 when I need to include keywords in the article itself. But let's start first with building an outline, right? Before you start building an outline, you need to determine what type of articles you are trying to write. Are you going to write a listicle? Are you going to write reviews? Is it going to be a blog, or is it going to be a knowledge sharing type of content? So first of all, determine what type of content you will try to execute. And over here, you can either think about it, or you can actually explore your idea of your competitors. So you click on some of them, and as you can see here, this is probably a listicle. 16 tips, so it's probably start out as a list of different tips. Same with this, same with this, same with this, same with this, same with this. So I guess these kind of topics very likely, as you can see in the top 10, 80% of them are already listicle articles. So maybe I will also try to write a listicle article, and it's going to be a listicle about productivity tips, right? And then the second step is to determine the length and the structure of the article itself. So in terms of building the length, so this should be your original screen when you get into this first step. So in terms of determining the length, we actually have some data here to show you. So first of all, you should base very much on the average word count of the top competitor. And as you can see here, the top competitor usually go all the way up to 3,003. Some guys even write 9,001 word. That's a really long blog. I think I chose the wrong topic to write about today. But anyway, let's say, and over here I kind of show you, our data show you, this is a scale, and we usually recommend you to have your article probably be written longer than 71% of your competitor. We kind of preset this, but to be safe, let's roll it up to about 76 or like 81. So you will have to write an article that is 3,162. Well, I don't think I will be able to like show the whole process of writing such a long article today, but let's try to get to about, let's say, 2,000 words. Okay, so as you scroll this, We will also recommend you how many headings you should have and how many paragraphs that you should have under each of the headings. I usually like to have more paragraph than my headings, so I would probably click here to about, let's say, 18. Right, that's a long article, and 12 image. So each heading I should probably have an image, but this time I feel like I probably just need about eight. That would be probably sufficient. There's no sort of like a correct way to do this, but usually as you read a lot of blogs, you will see that on a basic standard, you're probably trying to get the amount of headings and a bit more paragraph, because under each heading you may want to write, some heading you may want to write 2-3 paragraph, but some heading you will probably be a lot shorter, and some heading will have image and some are not. So to keep it more natural, I usually keep the amount of image lesser than the headings and the amount of paragraph more than the amount of headings that I will target, right? So after you kind of forming the length and the structure of the article, and these are purely based on the data that you get from your competitor, right? And so over here, as you can see, there's some of the percentage here. I show you overall sentiment is neutral, and this because I turn on Google NLP, and Google NLP API will show you the sentiment. Right? First of all, is the sentiment of the top 20, this content, and as Google scan through their content, what are the sentiment that they get? Because you will want to kind of get into the same sentiment as a common sentiment you have. So as you over here, we kind of have a data to show you overall sentiment of your top 20 competitor, blah blah blah. Our recommendation is to develop your content aligning with the general sentiment for the optimal result. So in this article, I'm going to choose to write our content in a neutral sentiment. Okay, so once you're done with this, you go into the next phase, and that would be write your blog title and your meta description. So blog title and meta description, the cool thing here is either you can write yourself, or we already have the button and call is our AI assistant. You can actually play around with. So click on this, and right away we'll show you a template on the left side of the screen, and you can generate. This will be our AI assistant will generate blog title. Input is the blog keyword. So we will use the main keyword to say. Notice here, description AI is disabled, because you can only turn this on, well, we will automatically turn this on when you have the title of the blog itself. So we have to write the description based on the title that you have. So from here, you click generate, and our AI will start kind of get some idea for you. 10 productivity tips to get things done, 10 tips to get things more done. You can generate more ideas if you like. Working from home for the modern world. Tips and tricks for working from home. Okay, I guess let me see some of the, what is our, well, not a lot of people talking about working from home here. So, but I feel like I shouldn't be writing very specifically about working from home. I should probably be writing more about, nope, because it's productivity tips. 6 productivity hacks you should know. Okay, that sounds pretty good. So what you can do once you have this as your blog title, just simply click add, and here say use as title. Confirm, and there it is. So as the title appear, you can then move on to the next button, which is description. You can keep generating more ideas if you didn't really satisfy with any of this topic yet. And as you can see here, we also build in sort of limits over here for optimal result. So over here we will say that, okay, maybe optimal result will be 60 characters. And right now the title is only 36. Maybe I should write a long one. Nah, I think this should be okay. And over description, we already teach our AI to generate description below 160 characters. So let's click on it and see what we have. The best way to be productive and efficient to know how to use your time efficiently. These 6 productivity hacks will help you get the most out of it. That's not bad. Productivity hacks are powerful, and they can get you help more done in less time. Here, 6. You know, I quite like this. So I can just click add, and I click confirm. So right away, as you can see, they keep the amount of content right within the requirement by Google. So save you a lot of time in thinking. This is what I love about AI assistant, because it really saves you a lot of time in terms of thinking what you want and what not. Or you can generate simply just more ideas for you to play around with this, whether you're professional trying to get more productive. The 6 priority will help you get things done faster. The AI do quite a good job in providing the right description for whatever type of you have. So once you're done with that, just simply click close and then you save this. So that is the 3rd step. Determine the length, structure. Oh no, sorry, that's the 4th step. That is to, now you have a title and then you have a meta description. From here, this is where you start building the heading structure of your content. And also whatever headings that you form, it should kind of reflect this 6 productivity hacks that you should know. So reflects whatever content you're trying to build. When it comes to building your headings, my suggestion is always about looking at your competitor. You want to look at the way they sort of craft their or structure their content, because whoever and whichever that I get to rank on top, they are the proven one, right? They prove to Google that whatever they do work well. So how you do that, just simply click on a button here, click directly onto the board of the listing of the list here, and you will be able to see right away the data of your competitor. And they will show you in a few views. The full view is not working on your things right now. It's something that we kind of trying to play around with. So you will see more later. Well, this is my test my test account. So we'll show you summary view. And why is summary view so important? Summary view is so important because this is where you will be able to see the core structure of how your competitor build their content. So for example, this one, top competitor, as you can see, their content is built in very well put manner. You have H1 right here. You have H2, set goals on daily basis, and a paragraph, 2 paragraphs in fact. Do the hardest thing first, that's another H2, 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 H2. So each of the tip, they will build them into H2. And the second part of the content, which is more on maybe the bottom part of your blogs, leave a reply, cancel reply. This is the H3, which is the heading built into the H2. 3 comments for 16 productivity tips from business leader. So this is where they will probably build this in. Okay, so I kind of get an idea now how they did that, and they have about 21 headings even. That's very long, right? 19 images, workouts 3003. Okay. The next thing I will probably want to do is to click on their FAQ. And FAQ essentially is our AI at work, where we will actually scan through the content of their blogs and look and kind of generate a frequent asked questions or kind of question and answer format, so that you don't have to so that you can actually include that in your headings and then use that content to your paragraph. What's the best way to learn new thing? No, these are not very good question. How can I improve my productivity? No, nothing I can really use, because they kind of take the wrong part of the content and kind of generate the question, because the question and the content could be very good, but it doesn't really support the content that I'm trying to write here, which is 6 productivity hacks I should know, which is a listicle. So I guess in a listicle content, FAQ doesn't really work that well. So maybe I'll try with something else, but for now, let's skip this part and come back to summary view. You can also visit your competitor website and kind of look and kind of scan through how they did it, right? Okay, this is one H2, and the way they do it is, okay, use a lot story, have a quote in front. Third, a lot paragraph though. Okay, so as you can see, you can actually also scroll down in here as you click on the button here and look for other competitor like this directly from here. You don't have to go back here. Similar, so this is number 2, similar content structure, OH2, and at the bottom is H3. Okay. Now look at the third guy. A lot H3 here. Oh, this is even longer article. This is a bit more messy, I feel. Okay. This is a very long article. Also, this is a long article. Okay, this guy organized a bit different. So H2 and then H3. I don't really like this H3 structure. I like to have all of my main point in H2 because it's a lot clearer for AI to or for Google to understand. Okay, so this process is what you kind of scan through your competitor, because this is very important, right? You can't. I don't want to see you guys. I mean, one of the mistake a lot of people make is that you rush into writing the part too fast, right? Before you get into writing, you want to know exactly what your competitors are doing that make them rank, and from there you kind of pick up what they did right in terms of their structure, what they did right in terms of their content, the way the tonality of their content, and how you can also steal some of that stuff from them so that you can also make your content kind of stand out. Because you can't just simply write and think that, okay, I'm going to leave it there and then 6 months later I'm going to rank. It doesn't really work that way. You know, you want to, every article, you want to make sure that you know your competitor well. So the way we build this is that we want to make sure you have all the content that you see at your fingertips. Okay, so I think some of this I can use. For example, let's start with make a list the night before. Oh no, this is a very long article. Sorry, I mistake with their content. The H1, H2, and then underneath H2 is a lot H3. Oh, very well structured. All of these articles are very well structured. These are all articles you can really learn a lot from the way they structure their content. So what I'll do is, you know what, I'm going to take this. First of all, is to prioritize and planning productivity tips. So I'm going to double click on this, and it will appear right away here as H2. Okay, I'll just add this as well. Just double click, and it will add under here. A lot of this I'll probably come back and change this later, because I don't want to show that I'm sort of copy content from your computer, right? Make the list the night before. Okay, I quite like that. And also go into some other people. I quite like this. Do the hardest thing first. Here we go. All right. So I already have one. I have two. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. Set boundaries. This is great. Optimize version 2.
Daniel joined.
Okay.
Daniel Wynn joined.
All right, so I think I kind of have all the 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I'm gonna optimize this screen size, so I'm gonna click here. All right, now I have more room for me to create content. Okay, so this one, I'll change this to H2 because that's the structure I'm going about. A lot of this content I can probably expand. So what I do is I'm gonna go in, for example, optimize your communication tool. I wanna see more idea on this. So what I'll do is I actually go into the blog itself, and then I scroll down, look for their content. Email are not optimal communication workplace, in other words. Okay, I like this. I'm gonna copy this, and I'm going to add that underneath my content. This. Click add. Turn this into a dot. Okay? So this one is quite okay, but what I'll do is I will rewrite this, because You see, you don't want to show yourself
Daniel
as someone who copy the stuff, right? So you simply click on the button here of the AI, and you will see there's the button called rewrite, and you can do text rewriter. Click on that. A screen will appear on your left, and from here you will see that we will actually generate templates for you to rewrite a paragraph. So okay, I'm gonna rewrite this. I click generate. Here we go. Maybe I like this. I quite like this. So I add this, and I can probably delete this. Okay, turn this resource into this, and so optimize your communication tool. I also want to rewrite some of this. What I'm trying to do is, you'll be less stress thinking clear, give yourself option out of getting a running start. Yeah, quite like that. Delete this. Okay, what I'm trying to do is this. What I'm trying to do is make almost a list of the way the content will be structured. So I decide that the content of the article will be structured in the order of H2, a paragraph, and then H2 and paragraph and H2 and paragraph. So each of my productivity tips are going to be one of my H2. When you save this structure in here, you will also, our tool will also save this structure and put that into the last bit, which is the writing part. And from there, when you publish your article, we'll save that schema, and then when you put that file, export that file into your WordPress, the same structure will be contained, and therefore you will actually have the structure that is most optimized for your SEO work, right? I didn't really have enough time to go into more details here, but the reason why I think that you should really spend some time to play around with our AI assistant here as well is to simply play well with all our templates and make sure that all the content here are being built out really well. Once you build this content out well, when you get to your content writing, things will be a lot more easier, right? And so let's say I will just start with this because since the time didn't really allow me to get into more deeper work. But what I do is I will save this and set up the keyword, save this, and I get into the second phase, which is keyword to include.